Just walking out onto the World Cup and wearing a green and gold, also we had navy, but like at that moment there's a photo I've got where Arnie's got his hands up in the sky and the players have run past when we beat Denmark. And I knew in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna break every rule right now. I'm not meant to be standing here, but I've run to the sideline or the coach's box, and it's like 95th or 93rd minute extra time, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't care. And you can see me moving in the video where it's like I'm running, like almost like Call of Duty, where it's like I'm crouched down there and I'm getting the moment and I'm just shooting and I'm just like, wow, they've just beaten Denmark. I'm here with the coach, but like I'm wearing the green and gold or the emblem. So that was probably the best moment.
Hello and welcome to the Sports Grad Podcast, the ultimate guide to make it in the sports industry. I'm your host, Nathan Peroni, and on this podcast, I chat with people in industry and find out how they got hired into dream jobs in sport. If you want to know what people are doing to break in and grow their career, make sure to follow the pod and subscribe to our newsletter for even more advice. Or if you want to give yourself a competitive advantage in the job market and put your career on a rapid new trajectory, go to our website and apply for the next cohort of the Sports Grad Method program. Now, coming up on the show today is Aleks Jason, freelance sports and lifestyle photographer. Aleks adds to our theme of the World Cup guests through June, having spent the 2022 World Cup on the inside of the Socceroos camp as exclusive photographer and currently travelling for the World Cup, capturing more content for the world game on the biggest stage. Aleks started his love of photography in the club scene, and we find out he actually sat next to Dom Dollar in university. His early break came with Melbourne City and has since become a major name for football photography in Australia. While sport has been his focus, Aleks has worked on weddings, major brands like Nike, Cricket Australia, Big Freeze, and much, much more. Aleks has some incredible stories from his journey and explains the difficulties but also the joys which come from being a freelance photographer. A fascinating chat with a lovely human which caps off our series of World Cup guests. So grab a pen and enjoy this chat with Aleks.
Hey guys, Ruben Williams here, founder of SportsGrad. We'll be back to the episode in just a second, but I just wanted to take a moment to tell you about the SportsGrad Method program, which has been helping people land jobs at major sporting bodies in as little as 14 days and doesn't require you to take out a massive debt to get started. If you are looking to make a jump into the sports industry, but nothing seems to be working for you right now, then why not apply for the SportsGrad Method program? Inside, you'll get given a proven playbook and a one-on-one industry mentor, as well as access to the SportsGrad network, plus much, much more, all of which have helped people land over 800 roles in sport. If you're ready to back yourself and fully go after your career and not let life get away from you and wonder, what if I'd only given that a shot? Then you're the kind of person who we'd love to work with. So head to sportsgrad.com.au/program and you can apply to join us.
Aleks Jason, welcome to the Sports Grad Podcast.
Thank you so much. It was a fun drive to get out here.
Whereabouts have you come from? You were telling me before.
Yeah, so
Bit of a commute.
you remember where Melbourne City used to be in Bondi-era?
Yes.
We're home Matildas, so 20 minutes up the hill, not towards the city, up the hill. So for me to get to Richmond, about hour 20.
That's regular for you. I mean, you come to the city all the time to do photography.
Well, coffee's better here, so.
I want to give a shout out to Nick Hughes, a friend of both of ours. Hughesy used to work with at Western, but helped set up this chat. So shout out to him because we're trying to do some World Cup flavour episodes. For context, this will be coming out middle of June. Mm-hmm. So I think the Socceroos would have just played a few days ago in the first game. So hopefully that is a good result. Talking World Cup, you're going over there in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I leave on the 11th of June. So I'm up there for the group stages, and then, I can't stay too long because my wife needs me back home. But at least they get a little flavour of the World Cup, that is. Yeah,
and is the plan to just follow the Socceroos if they get out of the group as well?
Yeah, so I'll be there for the group stages of the Roos, but then I'm also going to go freelance and do other games. I think that was the hardest part last World Cup. I only got to see the green and gold, and this time I have the opportunity to see beyond.
And so you're staying in those cities, though, just for a bit longer? Into Vancouver, Seattle, San Fran?
Yeah, Dallas and Houston.
Dallas and Houston,
okay. So that's going to be a fun time.
What other games are you going to see then?
England, Croatia.
Nice.
These are hopefully. Egypt, Egypt versus Belgium, and then Argentina, Austria, and Portugal, Uzbekistan.
Yeah,
so
incredible.
Fun few games there. A few last World Cups for a few players like Mo Salah, maybe a few Belgiums, and then Ronaldo and Messi.
Yeah, hopefully Messi's all right. He just injured himself on the weekend.
Yeah, no, don't tell me that now.
What accreditation have you brought in for us today?
I have way too many to pick from in my career, and I think the one that just stood out to me was more because my hairline was better there. It's my recent Champions League elite with Melbourne City. I think it's just one of those accreditations. You make one every year, you get one every year. But I don't know. This one was probably one that stood out to me in the collection that I had on the wall, just because of my hair. Was probably the best.
This is this
one.
season just gone as well.
Yeah, this season. Yeah.
Yeah. I did it right too, City in Champions League this year.
Yeah, look, I think this season was a great one for the youth. I really enjoyed watching talent come through. And I think last 2 seasons, as you probably know, with the A-League, the youth are getting more opportunity. So I think this season was one of those ones that I will remember for a long time.
Yeah. Now, we'd like to start with some quick fire questions, get some background on you before we jump into your career. So what inspired you to work in sport, firstly?
Oh, just a love for it. I think being of ethnic background, your parents just get you into sports through sort of like, it's that traditional thing where it's like us versus them type of thing. And I think that's a normal human trait where you're like, I'm going to go on the pitch and represent someone, a colour or a club. And yeah, ever since I was a young kid, my dad got me into football with Man United. And yeah, unfortunately, some people that will listen to this.
Well, they're getting better now. I'm a Liverpool fan, so I'm not enjoying
just swapping every decade.
No. First ever job and then first ever sport-related job?
Oh, first ever job. Look, apart from helping my dad, lay floors and stuff and helping him out here and there with his business, but I think my first paying job, sorry Dad, would probably be KFC. Yeah, fun times.
Nice. We've all started somewhere.
And first sports job?
First sports job as well, yeah.
Funny enough, apart from like the few little magazines here and there, like you remember Goal Weekly?
Yeah.
Back in the days when paper was still cool.
Yep.
Would be Melbourne City, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was my first like professional job.
And that was doing photography as well?
Yeah.
Well done. After high school, did you do any extra study?
I went to a design course. Funny enough, my person who studied next to me was Dom Dollar.
Wow.
No, we're good mates now, or hopefully he counts me as a good mate. But like literally, straight after high school, I went to this design course called NDIC, I think. So we're not talking about NDIS at the moment. It's a design course in Northlands, near Northlands shopping centre.
Yeah.
And it was much safer back then. And we used to, basically just have like this design course where they teach you the areas of like motion, audio, creative. And that's where I started my small business, which we can talk about later if you want. And then Dom was doing his stuff. And yeah, it helped me get into RMIT. And then, I did 2 years there. So, yeah.
That's amazing. Have you been and shot photos at any of his concerts?
Oh, yeah. Like, the funny part about my career is it was through club photography that I got my... I'd say battle scars to get to sports, and that's where I met my wife as well. So the whole world of photography led us to, through the whole pathway to where I am today.
I'm sure there's been plenty of people who loved those photos in the clubs over the years growing up. So you're behind some of them.
Oh, yeah.
A book or podcast recommendation that's helped your career?
As a podcast that I listen to?
Yeah, or a book. It may not be career focused, even something that maybe helped you in life.
Oh, look, I think the best book I've ever read was Nike's Shoe Dog. It's funny, my wife gets me into books a lot, and I'm trying to read a lot more sci-fi. I'm a bit of a nerd. And I read The Shoe Dog, and that has to be the best book. I think from someone who just created something from a dream and to push away from the normal sort of life that he was brought up, I think Shoe Dog's the best book for anyone.
Yeah, love it.
Have you read it?
No, I haven't read it. I'm not a big reader.
You have to.
That's the one they made the movie about.
No? The movie was more just about Phil Knight and like Nike, and I think it was more MJ, how they signed him. But the Shoe Dog is more like how he ran away from his family and literally sold shoes from the back of a van.
Yeah, right.
So
I might have to do an audiobook because I'm not a massive reader. But
no, neither. But it was one that got me.
Actually, I'll take it on the plane.
Yeah, honestly.
To the World Cup.
Yeah.
And the last one on the quick fire is if you could try another job in sport for a day, what would it be?
There's too many sports. Right now, it'd be AFL. I'm very connected to a lot of the athletes, but I would love to get into the Olympics. I think just the different multi-sport would be a challenge, and I'd love that.
Love it. Now, before we jump in, I just want to share some of your photography work, like as a resume. So we've got the 2022 FIFA World Cup with Socceroos, Melbourne City, weddings for over 14 years, Com Games, Rebel Sport, Nike, Under Armour, Victory, A-Leagues, New Balance, Cricket Australia, Paddy Mills, FC Porto, Lions Tour, Hawthorn, MJ Bale, Big Freeze. We could go on and on and on. This is a bit of research onto your website and your Instagram.
Just literally from the top to the bottom.
Do you want to tell us where a career in sports photography actually starts all of photography in general and like where the passion comes from?
Sacrifice and dedication and dream. I think dream would be number one. It's just having that dream. No matter like how much you want to do something, without a dream, you can't do it. I think athletes could speak a lot to that, where it's like you don't just wake up one morning and say, like, you could be the son of or daughter of someone and have that sort of in your DNA, but you need the dream to sort of live in that the shoe of that potentiality of being that person. So I think, yeah, a career in sports is you need the dream, or even if you're not even sports related, you just need the dream to sort of work in a job that is your life. I think I heard a quote the other day where it's like, don't live to work to live, the other way around.
Yeah.
It's like, don't make your life work, but make your job your life. So it's like you enjoy life and your job becomes a part of it.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I'd say sports.
I think it's like, don't live to work to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
There's a positive notion to that. And I'm trying to think of it right now. It's probably not the right time to think too fast.
Did you like just enjoy looking at photos in like newspapers or something? Like where did you obviously you got into photography? Like it's a bit of a niche one. Like I remember doing year 10. It was like an elective you could do, and I just did photography. I'm like, oh, it just seemed like an easy subject and take some photos. Nowadays, it's obviously changed a lot with how phones have evolved. But
100%.
Yeah, where did it all start?
I don't really know, and that's the problem. I think we have this notion to sort of connect where it all starts, and trying to find a linear connection to something. And for me, I was brought up in a very, my grandfather was very, musical orientated. My dad was as well, but never took career paths. My grandfather was a chef. Dad took a career in politics, and then also into sort of like the housing industry.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, and my mum was a former cop in Europe, so it's a whole different, area of upbringing. But for me, I don't know. I think year 12, I was someone that just didn't really have the dream, and it just fell in my hands where I was like, well, we live in this new world of technology where Instagram started in 2009. That's when I graduated. And I thought to myself, well, let me start and see where I can go. And then within a couple of years, like everything just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Today we have endless opportunities where internet phones are more capable than my cameras back then, or even the 2000 Olympics, film was still a major thing, but I think it just happened.
Yeah. Did you have like many early breaks you can think to where they were either paid or unpaid jobs that sort of put you on a positive trajectory?
Honestly, So 2009 graduate, did the design course, and then started working in the club industry where music, I was very much connected to the music, the club scene, the band scene. And that's where I did in at the Northland School.
Yeah.
I designed this company called Adam Not Eve. It was like this is a massive thing. Do you remember Tumblr?
Yeah.
There was this massive thing. We're having a bit of a techno light. Here we go. It's connecting to me. It was this thing where Tumblr was taking over, and Los Angeles had this massive scene with this guy called Cobra Snake. And it was like connected to sort of the underground of the nightlife, and trying to show this sort of new side to the industry where it's like photography was a big connection to the music industry. Almost think like Rolling Stones of its generation. Yeah. You're fine with that? Like I just want to make sure that
if you're okay with it.
I'm used to that.
Okay, fine.
And Adam Not Eve basically got me connected to documenting the music industry. And that got me jobs with Vice Magazine and a few music labels like Future Music, Unity, etc. So yeah, Sony Music, yeah. So it just went from there.
Yeah, epic. And challenges-wise, early doors, like, is it hard to find these opportunities? Is it hard to get the gear to prove yourself?
I think the hardest thing to do is just starting. And that's the best advice to tell anyone is just start. Because you never know where it's going to end up. Yeah. Like, you're not going to get anywhere if you don't start your car, basically.
Yeah,
I'm a very metaphorical guy.
I like it. I like it. I want to ask you, because it is such a diverse career. Is it a challenge? Like, how do you manage this to be across such a diverse range of photography? You're talking weddings and sport and lifestyle and nature. Like, what do you see as the major differences with how you shoot one versus the next? Like,
I'm obsessed with sports photography or commercial photography when it comes to the nature of creativity. Thankfully, I've been able to do weddings in a way that it's helped me find new ways of creativity. I wouldn't say it's like my dedication is in the wedding industry. Sorry to all the couples, but I think the main thing is I've been given opportunities where I can be a part of amazing wedding days. Like I did John Iredale, Socceroos, who plays in Korea at the moment. I did his wedding in Denmark. I've got Cameron Burgess in Mallorca. Shout out to Cam Burgess, who's willing to fly me up there. It's an amazing opportunity.
Incredible.
Jamie Maclaren's wedding. So I've been able to be a part of amazing days. So when it comes to photography as a job, I think the best part is you back yourself. And then if people respect and see the sort of dedication in you, then that's the investment in you. So that's where I would say is like, no matter what topic or genre of photography, I just have to put my 100% into it.
Yeah. And a lot of these, I mean, you said it just there, through relationships and word of mouth. Is that where a lot of these briefs are coming from for all these different events?
Yeah. I got an email the other day. I don't know if I'm allowed to say, like, because I haven't got the job confirmed, but it's Celsius, the drink.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like another thing that I'm very big on is just manifesting. And I said to my wife, I'm like, I really want this job. And then within a week, I got an email from them. And I don't know, like, we can get into different topics of this conversation, but like, that's where I say it's like, I can't get that client unless I put myself into the world and say, hello, this is me. Now it's up to you to come to me because I have a style. It's almost like a footballer. You're not going to get, transferred unless you're valuable.
Of course.
If you're expecting to move somewhere good, well, you need to put the effort on the pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there much negotiation on your part when these opportunities and the briefs come around? Like, or is it pretty much like, this is what we're willing to offer you. We're not going to budge, or
Yeah, it's hard because I listen to people talk about their jobs, and the hardest part with me is I can't really tell people how much I want because there's always budgets.
Yeah.
I can tell people what my budget is, but for me, I think I've learned over time, it's like just be willing to work with what some people give you because you can't really challenge what it's like don't bite the hand that feeds you. But I've been fortunate enough to be given budgets that I can be like, yeah, this is amazing. Like, I'm just thankful for the opportunity, whether it's Nike, Adidas, or even a local brand that's trying to get into the scene.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And what do you think of like the more common briefs you do get? Is it more sports? Is it more lifestyle? Is it more wedding? Like, I know you said weddings is like a no-go.
It's not a no-go.
Could someone message you after the
Yeah,
pod and be like, hey, do you want to do a wedding?
Yeah, no, look, weddings, again, that's not a disrespectful sort of thing. It's just more like as you evolve in your career, you sort of, it's like a journalist, sometimes they might like to write about, crime or something where it's like, it's a clickbait, but then they're really dedicated into going into a research of an old cold case or something. It's like, I don't want to write something quick. I want to put my effort into it. So it's like for me, weddings are quick. Well, I like to sort of spend a couple of weeks onto this creative brief and say, this is what I want to do. And I hope next 12 months of the world is influenced by my, body of work. So that's where I'm like, I would like to do something that's like going to change the way we see the next 12 months. So that's why I love sports photography too, like mainly football. I try my best to change the way we see football in Australia. And I've been fortunate enough to be working with the A-Leagues, APL, FA, where they've given me the opportunity to do that. And I think that's where I see myself. It's like, I'd rather do something that can challenge, but also inspire others.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand. Do you find that, like with being a freelancer that, you're on your own, do you have a lot of people that help you from an external source to manage money, to manage your calendars, or like assistants? Like, does your wife support you? Like, I think from a business sense, most people have everything at their disposal. Yeah. But when you're on your own and you're trying to manage all this on your own, how do you go about it?
My wife's also a photographer, so we have the shared anxiety, depressions, and emotional, turnovers. But I think there's a lot of people out there that support me, and I'm very thankful for them, from family to friends. Driving on the way here, I was on the phone to Centrelink because my accountant still hasn't done my tax return, and I'm like, what's going on? So this is the thing. It's like there's so many young kids coming into the scene now that are like, I want to be a photographer. I'm going to make reels. I want to go famous on Instagram. It's like, you can go famous, but just don't forget that running a business means you've got to pay taxes. And like, we live in a country that's pretty much, tax rich, but like, yeah, it's the fact that I'm thankful to have these people. It's not because of like my hard work. It's because of their sort of dedication to be able and ready to help me if I need them, family or friends. So yeah, I'm very lucky to have them.
Yeah, love it. Want to speak to football and the Socceroos. We are doing this, like I said, in the middle of June. Just to your experience shooting the Socceroos at 2022 World Cup. How did that work come about originally? And like, do you have some favourite moments from that time?
Like, we'll probably talk about Melbourne City as well. So I won't mention like how that came about, but similar story to this. you know, I was watching that game against Peru at Panenka, the cafe at Ultra Football.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was with friends and, you know, watching that moment, they save and then screaming, filming our reaction, posting it. And I was like, oh, I really want to go to Qatar. Not even a month later, I get a call from Richard McBurney, who works at FA. And he's like, hey, man, do you want to come to Brisbane and, like, you know, take photos of Socceroos? I'm like, yeah, what is it? He goes, oh, like, yeah, we're going to the World Cup. I'm like, I'm going to the World Cup. Like, what? How did that happen? Prior to that was the game in Melbourne against Vietnam, and I got an amazing photo of Goodwin doing the celebration.
Yeah.
And I think right place, right time. That's all I want to say. And I'm very thankful for that opportunity. And to be a part of the green and gold was like, yeah, a dream. And that's the dream that I think I had the second I started into sports photography.
Yeah. Maybe to your point there, do you want to talk back to how long you did at City,
Yeah.
A-Leagues, and then I guess that experience that then proves your point to then get to this.
It's like my kids are getting into snakes and ladders. Yeah, it's like it's funny how life works like that. You go up a ladder and then you go down. And for me, I was very thankful straight out of RMIT. You know, I was still new to the scene and started doing club photography. Got opportunities to tour with music festivals. I did a lot of musicians like Alesso, I'm not sure if you know him. Yeah. I did his first show in Melbourne for the agency. I did a tour with a few bands, and then slowly got into like local football, helping a few teams out as you do. You know, try to build up your portfolio, but also your repertoire. And then I was working with an agency. We're doing the Subaru photos in Sydney, and I remember we picked up a car that morning, did a whole shoot, went to Bondi, and I remember this story, and I would like to tell people the story because it's my favorite moment. But I'm sitting on the bollard, just eating my kebab. And then I get a phone call and I'm like, oh, hello. And then it's Julius Ross, who now works at PFA. He was the Melbourne City media manager. He's like, hey man, do you want to come down to Melbourne City soon and take some photos? I'm like, yeah, sure. And yeah, that happened. And then I went there. So shout out to Julius Ross, amazing guy. Thankful to be his friend for many years. But from that day, I think it was like 2015, I went to Melbourne City and Bundoora, and I've still been there since. So incredible. 10 seasons, I've seen so much happen from, all our trophies that we've won, a few grand finals that we've lost, but that's another story. And that, if it wasn't for that moment, I don't know where I would be right now. So then I think that's a great answer to sports job or sports industry. It's like, it's literally the people out there that support you as well. So I'm very thankful for Julius Ross for that moment.
That's a massive sliding doors moment.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Were you still driving from King Lake down to Casey Fields then?
Oh yeah, that was 25 minutes. Now I've got to drive to Casey. So it's a bit more.
That's what I'm saying. So now to Casey. Bundoora is easy.
Yeah. So Bundoora was easy. Like the worst part was the 3:30 p.m. traffic on Flynn Road. Yeah. Shout out to anyone from the north since I was in Flynn Road. But like driving from, it's one thing about podcasts when I listen to them and it's like an Aussie and I'm like, oh, they're mentioning somewhere where I go. It's cool. They're humans. But the Casey drive, the Casey drive is fun because I got to go through Warrandyte and all the way through Ringwood, and I've seen a few kangaroos jump past me. Get the training, I'm flustered. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Do you have a favorite moment being at City?
Oh, too many. I think being able to have people like Tim Cahill come through the doors. Being there for that day. Eric Montbart. The change of the games, going from like the sort of not making the finals to being in the finals every year, always planning for finals. It's that very positive energy in the sort of staff where everyone's like, always ready for next season, always planning for a final season. Having youngsters come through, like, we've had so many come through, then I can, work with them in the Socceroos as well. So having that friendship over time has been the best part, but best moment, there's too many to choose from. I'll just throw one off the air. It would be like, I think it was Bruno Fornaroli scoring a goal against Perth Glory. It was an overhead kick. And the reason why that was a special moment for me was because I uploaded that photo. Aleks shared it within like not even a minute. And that photo went viral in that moment. Viral is different now because the way we are on the internet. But yeah, that moment will always stick out to me. It was like a pinnacle moment for me where it's like, I have to work harder. Smarter, not harder. Mm-hmm. So it's just being more selective.
Do you get credit on those kind of moments when they put it up?
Oh, look, it's funny. I spoke to my wife about this moment, about crediting this moment. Yeah. I don't really care about crediting. I think when you have a body of work, they should speak for itself. I think we don't ask who designs cars, but the person who designs them really knows deep down. Yeah. Tables, like we're obsessed with like knowing designers unless you're into clothing. or brands, but like for me as a creative, I just want my work to be out there to inspire but also challenge. So when it comes to coding, I don't really care. I think as a someone in the industry, it's like you want to put work in the industry that helps others. Yeah.
And speaking of football, I know we'll get back to the Socceroos in a sec, but you just did the Auckland grand final for the A-League last weekend.
2 days ago, I think.
Yeah. What was that like from like afar? I think that club's done an incredible job.
Mate.
But seeing the place bounce and then for them to win obviously would have been awesome to be a part of.
Yeah, it's been 2 years where the A-Leagues have got me on board for both final series for the A-League women's and men's. So thankful to see the game from different perspective, to be able to work with the club and then be able to work with the league that supports the clubs. You see all the dedication and you work with all the brands that put everything together. Being in Auckland and going to Go Media Stadium, like I was hoping to go to Eden Park, but then when I went to Go Media, I was like, oh wow, this is huge. I wish we had this here. It's funny because like I've never been to Macarthur or Newcastle, and I think that's 2 places I want to go in the sort of A-League setup, but Highmarsh is by far my favourite stadium, even though it's been cursed.
You do hear that from a lot of people in the football world.
It's the best. I think it's this addiction we have to European setups. Like I love Amy Park, but I just hate the green seats. Let's make a petition, everyone in sports. Let's change the green seats to blue or something else. More Victorian. Like, come on, we play in. Sorry, divert. We play in so many state sports, no matter what code, and we always wear blue. Why is that stadium green?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Sorry, why is it green? It's the worst. It's like a green screen. Anyways, back to the conversation. What was the question again?
Just your experience at the grand final at Auckland. Yeah,
Auckland, amazing. What they've created, epic. Like they've even got young photographers working that I got to meet on the day, and I was like, wow, they're supporting like the creative industry as well. But like to see people from the media team to the back staff, like I got to meet a lot of people on the day, and it was bonkers. Like I get to work in Melbourne City. I'm very thankful to see how many people work hard to work as a team, but then to see Auckland do that, I was like, these guys are young and they're doing a lot more than some other teams have done. And then like at City, we've got like 6 media members, maybe more. And then some other clubs you would know, like Western, it's like 2-3 people plus freelancers. Like, so yeah, Auckland's really done well for that. And of course, Sydney FC, their traveling fans beyond amazing. So unfortunate to what happened, but yeah, it was a great game.
Did you catch the OFC Pro League final as well? Like that was
I
the
wanted
next day?
to. I had no idea that was on. I'm sorry. Like I think when I landed, I saw posters and stuff for the game, and I was like, oh wow, I wish I stayed for it. But that's another story. I think the OFC itself, it just wasn't sort of well promoted in my sort of sphere. But for what it's doing for that sort of Oceanic League, I wish there was more emphasis on that side. Like for example, I wish there was no games here, but more games there to bring people to them for tourism. But when they had games here, it was fine. Like I saw people at home at Matilda, so it was good.
Yeah, good. Let's jump back to the Socceroos because I think it's a very unique experience. I think one of the photos I remember seeing was all the boys are in arms around the middle of the pitch, and you're obviously in the middle of it taking photos. Like, what game was that?
Denmark.
Was that to go through the Denmark game?
Yeah. That was Denmark game because Tunisia was a daytime game.
Do you have many? I assume you probably have heaps, but do you have shots of, I guess, the big moments of the Lecky goal, the what could have been with Grand Qual, the what could have been as his beige as well.
I've got a story about the Argentina game. But I'll tell you the like each game and leading up to each game, beyond amazing. And like again, I have to say like a massive thank you to someone like Graham Arnold. We had an awkward moment. If you want to watch the game, I think it was Denmark. Tunisia. It was in a huddle, and then I've come in under and I'm taking photos. Sorry, I just punched the mic. I'm taking photos of the boys huddling, and like Martin Boyle, our vibes manager, was above.
I saw that camera this week.
And then the camera, the camera comes in from the top, the spider cam or something, and Graham tells me to go away. And then he's like, clicked that it wasn't non-team media. It was me. And he's like, oh, sorry, man. Like, and he gave me this massive hug. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I was just in the moment, like trying to get the boys like riled up, like get in there, and like we've done this. Now next game's on. But that moment bonded us, and I think ever since that moment we were so close, and like having that trust from the coach meant that I could do anything I want, and that really created this special bond between me and the coaching staff. But then like Tunisia, the goal with Juki, and then even Lecky. Like my favorite moment of the World Cup was post the Denmark game. We're in the dining room back in the team rooms.
Yeah.
finished dinner and I'm walking back and I've been asked to get like a selfie of Lecky saying thank you for watching at Fed Square.
I was there at Fed Square.
Yeah, so he had it's on my phone still, and he was filming it while he's pushing the Vibes manager on just one of these chairs back to his room. So like we're walking and then I'm like, hey Lex, can you film this? Mind you, it's like 1 or 2 in the morning and he's doing this and he's like, here you go, bro. And like to me, that's when I realized like we support these humans to represent us. And it's just funny, like everyone's going crazy at Fed Square. And then here I am just finishing off a burger with the boys who literally did the moment. So you think you think in that moment, you're like, can I swear in this?
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, I'm so like thankful, but lucky and like thrilled and so many words to describe it. But like, I'm here. And that's when it hits you like, all that hard work led up to this moment. I'm so grateful to be here. So yeah, that's when I was like, shit, that's so cool.
Did those relationships pre-existing with Lex and Beige and all these guys that are at City, and probably there's a lot of other boys that have been at City but then moved away, did that help you as well?
Oh yeah, like it was funny because everyone was like, oh, look at the City boys everywhere. Oh, City boys, you know, everyone literally connected to City somehow.
Yeah.
But I'd say like everyone was there for their reason. And I think when you're there, you forget about like everything else. You're there for the green and gold. And like I say this a lot, like I still have the bags in my shed now that says my name, AK, my initials, with the Australian emblem. And I'm like, oh, like I'm here wearing the emblem of my country. Like I'm so proud, even though my family have moved over from Europe to be in this country. I was like, holy shit, like I'm like, and even when I was waiting at the turnstiles, whatever you call them at the airport, the bag carousels, I'm like almost like, when it's like, hey, you pick it up, like. Like look at me. But like that's what I mean, like you forget, like as someone who never got to live their footballing dream, because we all wish we played as an athlete, but I think that having those little moments, you're just like, holy shit, like I worked so hard to get here. So no,
that's awesome, incredible. What was your moment you were going to say with the qual? What could have been?
So my wife was pregnant and I had to give up. This is the sacrifices that we do in this industry, like any industry, but like I think sports as well. It's like we have these moments where like a major tournament comes in. And my wife's like, look, I'm going to be due that week. Like, what are you doing going to Qatar? I'm like, if you go into labor, I will fly back. We won the Denmark game. She calls me the next day. She's like, I'm going into labor. I'm like, oh, I said to Arnie, I'm like, mate, I'm so sorry. I've got to go home because the media and everyone knew, like the staff knew that I was potentially leaving early.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're going to make it through. I could have stayed. Sorry, wifey. I could have stayed. But yeah, the night of the game, we had our second child. And I was like, I remember watching the game at the hospital. Yeah. And then like, oh, the baby was born. Like, yay. But we had a bit of a situation with the baby, our second child, Nova, was in hospital for like a couple of months after that. So I spent more time in hospital after the World Cup than I did at the World Cup. So this whole parallel world where like one moment you're a part of the world and next moment the whole world is in a box waiting to come out. And it's like this weird parallel moment where it's like 1 second you're so enthusiastic, next moment you're like scared. Yeah. So I had this penultimate moment where it's like, shit, like I just had that, now I have this. Yeah. So it hits you hard when you realize when you're not there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but that was the moment where I was like watching Qual and Aziz punch up, and I was like, "Fuck, I would have loved to have been there."
Well, I'm glad you got home for the birthday.
Oh, my wife was glad too. Don't worry.
Could have been some other.
Sorry for my daughter's 21st birthday. And be like, it was you. It's your fault. I missed Messi's. Now, not last World Cup, thankfully.
One of my other questions before was going to be, so do you have like shots of Messi? But
no. Oh, see, but funny enough, I got to relive that moment when we went to Beijing and played against.
Yeah, they played that random.
So I got to like have that moment, meet like all the players and stuff, and even like for me as United diehard, I got to meet Garnacho, even though he's But like that was sort of my moment to relive, and that's why I'm looking forward to Argentina and
I can understand why.
US.
Yeah. So speaking of, so the World Cup's like it's happening right now as this will go out. But what does preparation look like for you to prepare for these massive moments to be a part of?
3 words: anxiety, visas, and happiness. I think there'll be a positive word.
Yeah. What was the story you said was going on today that caused problems?
The last week, it was the only time that I could book a meeting for my visa, for my journalistic sort of visa, so I can go work. You can't just get an ESTA if you're working. So hopefully there's a lot of people not getting ESTAs and hoping to get into these places. So that cost about $300 USD plus 80 extra, I think, when you get to the US consulate. Dropped my passport off, and then the lady who was talking to me, she's like, I'm going to hold on to your passport. I'm like, oh, I need to fly to New Zealand on Saturday for the Auckland game. So within 24 hours, I got an emergency passport.
So they just like duplicate your passport?
Second passport. So it's like a PP passport.
Yeah.
And I paid 700 Australian dollars for that overnight. Got it next morning, picked it up. Mind you, in the meantime, I've got 7 other shoots that I'm working, editing and stuff. So like I picked up my secondary passport, and the next day at 4 a.m. I was at the airport flying to Auckland. Flew back on Sunday, and then But these are the sacrifices we make. Yeah.
You want to make sure you do everything right to get over there and not
that's
have any
the thing.
issues.
Like, it's one of those World Cups where people complain about Qatar. Yes, there's a lot of like ethical, human rights issues that we had. And the funny thing is, I feel like there's worse stuff happening in the US, but a lot of it's getting covered up. We're hearing about Mexico and like trying to ramp up security. Canada's probably the quietest thing. They're just trying to make themselves look more fun. And then US, just constant everyday news of like the White House and all this, and your family's messaging and being like, just don't leave the hotel, or don't leave where you're staying, don't leave the game. And I'm like, people survive South Africa, people survive Brazil, like, and Russia. So I'm hoping like I can survive LA.
Fair assessment, fair summary. You also did do the recent friendlies as part of the farewell tour as well, going over. Does that make it, I guess, the relationships continue to grow from doing those kind of opportunities with the players? And does it become a bit more of a familiar face when you do get over there? Yeah,
so I'm thankful with Football 360, David Weiner, and Ludovic, all those boys had like their little thing during the last World Cup. So that's now created something for David where he's created this amazing opportunity for, creatives in this country to have a job. So massive effort to him and the team, where now I'm able to represent him for Australia games. So that's why I'm thankful to be at this World Cup through them. With the Football Australia, I still work with the organisation. I don't work internally anymore, but I think now it's given me an opportunity to see our game in a different perspective. I would love to be inside, but I think now I'm able to see from another perspective, where the one thing I do love about being internal is like you can see the game, the play that's happening. You're like, you can read the game and be like, oh, something's going to happen that I need to get mentally ready. So a lot of those moments I knew at the World Cup, like when the cross was coming for Juki, I was like, oh, and then bam.
Yeah.
So this time around, I'm like almost scared, but it's exciting where it's like you don't know where to sit. And that's the hardest part about our job. It's like you can sit anywhere. And
that was one thing I was going to ask you. Like, do you get designated like this is your spot?
On and if you want to talk about one game, if you have time, sorry to bore everyone, but like one of my favorite moments in football, in just sports photography, and I'd say it's similar to music photography where I was brought up. It's like you have this one area and you have your choice where you can either move or stay in one spot, and you just have to be lucky and thankful for the moment so that things happen. So I think it was Australia-Korea when we won the Asia Cup, 2015 in Sydney, and Postacoglu was coach. And I did the whole tournament for a magazine that me and my friend started. By the way, we got banned by the A-League many years ago. We got a cease and desist for starting this magazine. It was called The Turf. Funny story. Shout out to Jacob Arnott, who was like a young journalist doing stuff, and we combined. And we were just doing things in football, and we covered the whole game, every game, Australia, Iraq games, South Korea, North Korea. And then I got a call from Nike, and they're like, hey, do you want to come to the final? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, can you just book the flights and let us know, and we'll pay everything. I'm like, yeah, cool. The only flight to Sydney was first class. So I was like, can I fly this? Like, yeah, sure, whatever. And that was the first time I checked in and sat down, and they're like, hello, sir, would you like a drink? I'm like, I gotta go work. I landed like 2:30 and I had to get to the stadium by 4. Chaos, grand final, like major moment, final moment. Australia, Korea, like this is everything. And Nike's like, you're gonna create something for. It was with an agency called AKQA, massive agency in US, and they were like, you're gonna have to get there. Like, sorry, we can't organize much, but just let us know if you need help. I get there, and I remember Adam Marks, who now I'm close friends with. He's like the organization manager. He's like, mate, sorry, this is where you're sitting. I'm like, fuck. And I literally, so if you're thinking of the moment, you remember the game much?
Bits and pieces. So
there's of course, there's 2 goals. Corner flag. The bench side's here. Troisi celebrated here, yeah?
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
I'm over here, not where the corner flag is, more past the 18-yard box. And I'm like, fuck, this is the worst spot I can be. But everything happened right in front of me. And I was like maybe 1 or 3 photographers that were in that corner. I had Luongo celebrating right in front of me. I had them all jump up right in front of me. I'm getting goosebumps just remembering the moment. You can see me on TV. I'm just like this little guy. Beep, beep. And then like everything happened. Like there was a moment where I remember like the whole game. I remember like Juric, when he turned that player, he fell over. Juric hit it in the middle. Troisi smacked it in, ran off. For me, I had to shoot for Nike, so it was both teams. It wasn't just our boys. So I had to document the whole game. And then it was the moment, like it's on the Nike app still. You can search it up, and you can see the moment where like the Korean boys were on the floor crying, and then the background it's the green and gold, and like that. The whole game was just one of those games where I was like, I wasn't lucky to get a spot, but I was lucky to be in that spot. So I think this World Cup too, I'm like, who knows where I'm sitting?
So do you think you will have a say, or you'll just get told this is where you're going to sit?
Well, I don't know. We'll find out. Like, it's been a bit of a schmozzle organising everything, but like, oh well, it's football. We'll see what happens.
I always feel like from afar, it's an overly competitive space of like, even just Scott Pendlebury did his 4-3-3 game the other day, watching that and like seeing the photographers all trying to grab that right moment, or they're all chasing down the race. How do you all like, is it literally like elbows out to try to get the photo over someone else?
You have a respect like to each other. I think in the industry, you have to sort of know each other. And I remember that game when the boys were doing a lap of honor. I was taking photos, and there was this older photographer who now is probably retired. I remember his name and everything, but like he was working for one of the magazines. And I remember I got a photo, and like I sort of got in his way, and he full gave it to me. And like I learned there and then, like, oh shit, like I've stepped my line. I need to respect, a bit more. And it's funny because now I'm the older one that's getting disrespected in ways. And I look at these people and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, but then that's where I realize it's like, they've got a dream too. They're trying to get to that position. They're trying to, get to that moment. So I think it's just that industry that we live in where it's like, you almost have to realize it's like, how much do you have to sacrifice for your own good, and how much do you have to sacrifice for the greater good of everyone? Mm-hmm. So I think it's those moments where you realize it's like, you either work together or against each other, and you have to pick which part or the side you're in.
Yeah, understand.
Yeah, it's the hardest part. It's like, do you make things for yourself, or do you make things for the And that's where I learned on that day. So I'm trying to be better and say, hey, come, let's go, or get out of my way.
Yeah. Do you have some predictions for us for the tournament as well? Again, like I said, this will come out after we play Turkey. But look, what do you think the team will do?
We'll definitely like challenge Turkey, but this is the hardest part about the World Cup. Like people underestimated us at the last World Cup, but I think the squad that we had and the mentality we had was very sort of. We had a tight knit group, and I think you look at the squad. Even though some people like question some of the choices that we had there, but being able to see the bond, it was very connected. I think this is the problem with like the current group that we have. It's not the players or anything. I feel like it's like we're going into a dark room, so it's not really predictable. The results that we've had so far, like the one that upset me the most was the Japan game, where if Aziz, I love the guy, and if it wasn't for him smacking that goal in, if it was anyone else there or any other moment, would they have let the ball go? Would they have tried to cross it in? So for me, it's like, it's the players that, make the moment together. And Aziz took that moment and got us through the World Cup. So for me, it's like this World Cup is going to be really dependent on those moments, similar to last World Cup. But it's like, it's not going to be how we play. It's going to be about who can be more than the 100%, who can finish it. So Turkey, I think we can definitely beat them. The US, I'm worried because home nation, they're definitely going to get a bit more sort of backing and pressure they have to perform. Paraguay, again, another one that I'm a bit scared, but I think we can do it. So I think we can get through either, second, or if depending on US results, we can go first. And then, this World Cup's a bit of a weird one where even third can make it through. Yeah. So this is the hard part. It's like you can go third and then play a low-ranked team. Is there any predictions who we can face off? I don't know.
Someone told me the other day, it's like, I think if we finish second in this group, we play third. Yeah. Of another group. Yeah. But then, like, you finish first and you could...
third, I think, depends on the points as well. Yeah. So it could be like Curacao or something.
They're on the scheduling. It's like one of D, for example, could play three of A, B, C, or D. Yeah. And I don't know what means what.
No, I don't understand. Yeah. But look, I think the boys will do good. I think they'll make us proud. Will we win the World Cup? I'd love that. I'd fly back in a heartbeat for the game in is New York, I think, the final.
Yeah. MetLife. Yeah.
But we'll see. I think the main thing for me with this World Cup is I just hope it's safe, like for every fan. That's it. That's my main concern. It's just safety.
Yeah, I'm completely with you. Want to speak to just some reflections. Do you have some mentors, influences that you could say have had a massive impact on your career?
Rob from Getty, people know him as Chopper. Rob, I always pronounce his surname wrong. Cianflorne. I don't know. He's gonna hate me for saying his surname wrong. He's just a very, tan-looking Italian bloke at every sports event. I'd say he's by far one of my biggest aspirations or inspirations and mentors. I think that's the thing when you think about as someone in the industry, it's like you're always lucky to have someone help you. And in another sense will be Julius Ross, even though as a creative he didn't help me, but the sliding door moment, he opened that door for me.
Yeah. Any good advice from these people as well, especially Rob?
No. It's funny because like Rob and when you become friends with someone, there's no real like advice giving, but it's more just being a friend and someone to talk to. So even if it's like the odd meme here and there, it's funny. But like, I wouldn't say there's like verbal advice. It's more like emotional advice where it's like support, just being there.
Worst mistake you've made and how you've come back from it, or a mistake that you can recall when coming back from it?
Something I'm learning now, learning to say no, knowing when to say no to things. Yeah. That's my biggest sort of mistake I've made, where I've said yes to things and then it's hurt me emotionally and physically, like in a sense of like you make yourself feel sick about like saying yes to a job. So that's the thing I'm learning now. And 35, I'm still learning to say no. Yeah.
Like that advice. Most memorable moments or matches in your career shooting?
So many, but if I had to pick the top 3 would be 1, Denmark, 2, Australia, Korea, and then 3 would be maybe Melbourne City versus Sydney FC, FA Cup, Oz Cup, sorry, FFA Cup. Yeah.
See if we got some new moments to come to that list this month.
Yeah.
Major projects or work that was a catalyst in your career?
Again, early days, I got to do a campaign for Oakley glasses with Julian Wilson and Virat Kohli. So that was another random one where I just got a call. It's like, hey, do you want to fly to Sunshine Coast? I'm like, yeah, when? Tomorrow? I'm like, okay, what are we doing? Julian Wilson. I'm like, wait, didn't he just like have a punch up with a shark a couple of days ago? And like, yeah, so he's a bit scared of the water. And I'm like, oh, so what are we doing? Oh, we're just going to do a shoot outside of the water. I'm like, okay, cool. What time? 3 a.m. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, it was like sunrise. And the Gold Coast summertime is like early. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, sure. So we flew up, did a shoot, and I didn't have all the gear I had, but I had the ideas, and that campaign went all over Australia and Southeast Asia. So
incredible.
I'm doing the never eat soggy wheat picks. Southwest, West South, whatever. The India, Pakistan, like.
It's probably more southwest of Asia.
Yeah. So it was like banners and stuff for Virat Kohli. Funniest moment was like. They warned me like, hey, just letting you know Virat was going to have a massive entourage. And I was still early days watching Entourage. I was like, oh, he's going to have a big group. He had a big group. And I think it was when he just started dating or got married to his partner or something. Yeah. So it was like this massive media people following him. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? But yeah, that was one of my favorite moments shoot-wise. Commercial.
Unreal. Do you have a biggest pinch me moment that you can look back on and go like that is...
Yeah,
the one too many.
Too many, like from World Cups, Asia Cups, just walking out onto the World Cup and wearing a green and gold, or so we had navy. But like at that moment, there's a photo I've got where Arnie's got his hands up in the sky and the players have run past when we beat Denmark. And I knew in my head, I'm like, I'm going to break every rule right now. I'm not meant to be standing here, but I've run to the sideline or the coach's box. And it's like 95th or 93rd minute extra time. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I didn't care. And you can see me moving in the video where it's like I'm running, like almost like Call of Duty, where it's like I'm crouched down and I'm getting the moment and I'm just shooting and I'm just like, wow, like they've just beaten Denmark. I'm here with the coach, but like I'm wearing the green and gold or the emblem. So that was probably the best moment.
Yeah, epic. And one thing we do is a question from our last guest, which is anonymous, but was actually David Bashir. What would be a better way for sport to be more actively involved in social justice beyond what it's doing now?
Oh, that's a really good question because, we've got, and this is more like the political and getting connected and helping.
You can spin it as you want to.
I think that's the problem. Everyone says there's no politics in sports, but that's the biggest lie in the world because sports is basically politics. We're not going to forget like results do emotionally change how you feel. So I think the worst thing we can do is take violence on the pitch or any like sport. I hate when there's differences off the pitch, but on the pitch they use it to get at each other. So I think if we could sort of find a way where we can say let's try and unify each other, even though on the 90 minutes we're enemies for the results or the greater good of the game. I hope that, we can use sport in a way to sort of emphasize of like, hey, we can work through this together, whether it's 90 minutes or beyond. The result should be a shared respect for, you know, why we're here. It's like we're here to entertain, but also we're here to, you know, bring people together.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. It's like no matter what, like, you know, Champions League final, yeah, you're going to cry and go home, but it all restarts tomorrow. So it's like, why should we fight? Because tomorrow is another day, but we should be back working together next day.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was trying to find a way. It's like, let's not fight, but like we have to work together.
I think it's topical in football as well.
Yeah.
And last one is for you. So what is one question you'd like to leave for our next guest coming up?
How far do you have to take yourself to achieve a dream? And when do you think that dream has been reached?
Yep.
So it's like,
and that would be different for everyone as well.
Yeah, I think that's the problem now. As I'm getting older, I'm starting to think like I don't want to be working somewhere else than what I'm doing. But it's that greater fear of like, oh, the time's ticking, and like, you know, you're fearful where you're gonna end up. Like, we're very thankful we're living in an industry in the world now where you can be in your late 50s and 60s and be a social creator, you know, and have a life off a job that didn't exist 30 years ago. But for me, it's like, time's ticking. How can I survive? Or what's my next? So that's, how far do you have to go for your dream? Yeah,
awesome. We'll look forward to hearing what the answer is. That's all from me, Aleks. Like, I really appreciate the time. We turned this around in like 2 seconds, by the way. Like, I think this morning this wasn't even happening, and now it is.
Yeah.
Love the conversation. You got some awesome stories, and I think I'll be definitely looking out for you as someone going to the World Cup. See if I can see your face behind the
Are you going there?
Yeah, I'm going.
Oh, amazing. We'll catch up in Seattle or Vancouver.
See if I can get some good photos.
Yeah, 100%.
And make sure to keep an eye out for any photos that come through Football 360. You see around the World Cup. Aleks is probably behind them. And we'll see you around, man. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.